Hey everybody, this is Brian with Bear Cards 34. My plan was to make a show and tell video of USFL football, but my week, just like the week before and the week before that, has been crazy busy. Lots going on with work and family and everything else, so life has happened, and obviously that's a priority. So unfortunately, the show and tell video will probably be pushed back until sometime next week. Hopefully not too far into the week though. So for today, I just have a couple mail day pickups I wanted to show off. And first of all, I want to start with this Deion Sanders. Holy cow. So Coach Prime, as he likes to be called. I watched the Colorado versus Colorado State game last night, and that was one of the more exciting games I've seen. That was amazing. And that game did not end. I'm in the Mountain Time Zone, so are they. And the game ended at like 12:30, double overtime. It was an amazing, exciting game. And so I can only imagine if any of you are in like the East Coast, that's 2:30 in the morning by the time that game got over. So I don't know if you guys got to see it or watch the highlights, but that was pretty impressive. They are now 3-0, and they play one of my favorite teams, the Utah Utes, at the end of the year. And that's going to be a very exciting game. Both teams are 3-0 right now. My guy Cam Rising, you guys know I'm a big Cam Rising collector. He has not played yet. He's been recovering from an ACL injury from the Rose Bowl last year. And I'm hoping he's back next week, so that's the hope anyway. So I just wanted to kind of make note of that. And I wanted to just mention, do you guys remember this guy, Mike Williams? You may have seen the news stories of him recently, unfortunately. I remember when he was a rookie, I think it was like 2010, he almost had 1,000 yards. He had over 10 touchdowns. He was a really talented receiver and had a couple of really good years with the Buccaneers. He's from the Buffalo area and went to play for the Bills for a year as well. But anyway, he unfortunately passed away a few days ago. He was working construction, and there was this freak construction accident that put him in the hospital. He was on a ventilator, and I know that there had been reports of him passing away, and then it turned out that he had not passed away, but unfortunately he has now. He was only 36 years old, but just wanted to give him a little shout out. Rest in peace, Mike Williams. Just really, really unfortunate story to hear that one coming out. All right, now onto a couple of cards. So the first one I will show is we're going vintage here. Not kind of, this is vintage. This is a 1950 Bowman Daryl Hogan. He was a linebacker and guard for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He played 5 years with the team. He passed away back in 2016 at the age of 89. So we see him right here. Little paper loss right there, but nice looking card. I wanted to get this one because I love the image. Kind of shout out to Terry over at TJ Maxx Vintage Cards and Nostalgia. Love the image. I love the old leather helmet, the trees in the background, the blue sky. Just a really pretty card, and thought that would be a nice one to add to the collection. And I also want to shout out Zach and Porter for giving me this awesome Deion Sanders card. They've been hooking me up with some baseball cards of Deion, and he was one of my all-time favorite players. Growing up, just a huge fan of his. Okay, this next one I got in the mail is 2020 Elite Rookie Autos, orange, number 24 out of 25 right there, of my favorite Chicago Bear, Jalen Johnson. I love this because it's got him in his Ute gear, but it's also got the Bears and the Bears logo on the back, and it's a short print variation. Love the look of that card. Bears looked really ugly last week. It was a very long day for me. So if you guys know, I went to Utah State, so I'm a huge Utah State Aggie fan. I got to see Jordan Love play in person many times, and he did some amazing things. I was really excited for him to go pro, projected to potentially be a first-round pick. And then when he went to the Green Bay Packers, I got kind of deflated, and I'm definitely deflated now. And, I'll tell you, that game was extremely ugly in all aspects. So I grew up next to University of Utah, loved them growing up, loved the Utah State Aggies. But my number one team of all time, by far, is the Chicago Bears. Above Utah State, above the Utah Jazz, it's the Chicago Bears. And I thought, man, I'm going to have a headache because I want Jordan Love to do well. I really like him as a person and his story and his background, and everything he overcame, and with his father and all these other things. You guys can read up on that, or maybe I'll talk about it sometime if you guys want. But very much rooted for him, and then I thought, man, I want him to do well, but I definitely want the Bears to win. And so when he had scored his first touchdown against the Bears, I thought, all right, good job, Jordan. That's cool. Okay, now Bears kicking into gear. Let's get going. Don't mess around. But then he threw his second touchdown pass. And by then I realized, okay, I'm not rooting for Jordan Love at all right now. Not even a little bit. And then he threw a third touchdown pass, and it was a long day. And very frustrating. And as much as I was frustrated, the best part were my brother's texts. My brother Brent, he very much catastrophized the entire existence of the Chicago Bears just with that one game. And so his texts were pretty comical, but I kind of agreed with him at the same time. So anyway, very happy to pick up this Jalen Johnson card. By the time the video comes out, the Bears may have already played the Bucs. Man, I sure hope we can win that game. I'm hoping for the best, crossing my fingers. All right. So when we think of Pro Set, one of the things I think of is I just love that time period, love Pro Set, and the vast recording of the history of the seasons that the set included. Lots and lots of players, but they're also super overproduced, right? So this is 1989 Pro Set. This is a Mike Singletary right here. And this is the card design that I'm sure a lot of you, if you were around in the 90s, are very familiar with. But there were a few Pro Set cards that are very rare, like the William Perry. There's also a Cody Rissian that is very rare that I'm hoping that I have as well. And there's a Blair Bush of the Packers that is extremely rare, and I'm hoping to get it one day, but I've never been able to find it in a price range that I'm comfortable paying. But there is a little bit of a set of Pro Set that is much more rare, and that was these right here, these 1988 Pro Set Test football cards. And you can see the design is very similar. I really like that image right there. I think it's a great picture. You got, looks like Dave Duerson in the background there, maybe Steve McMichael right there playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Very similar design. The borders look the same. Obviously, the logo is on the other side, and instead of the NFC, they've got Pro Set. The linebacker there in the middle without the Bears. So a little bit of a variation, but very similar looking. These were given out at a national candy show in Phoenix, Arizona back in 1988. It was an 8-card set. It included Jim Kelly, Dickerson, Rice, Marino. So there's some good ones. Now the backs definitely are different. You can see the difference right here. They do have sample written across that. So in fact, I pulled this out because I thought it almost has a much more similar design to the Score back of 1989. But I'm really happy to get this card. I may try to pick up all of the others as well. Some are more costly than others. I could get a Frank Minifield pretty cheap, but some of those other ones are a little more expensive, but I love these. So my plan is I might pick up all of these over time, but very happy to have that one. So just wanted to kind of show you guys that. I'm not sure if you guys were familiar with those prototypes, but very happy to have one of my own. Anyway, that should do it for today. Thank you, as always, for watching. I appreciate the comments, the great interactions that we have, and hope you are all doing well. I will be back with more videos in the near future, and as always, go Bears.